Good evening, it is 6 o'clock-ish on Monday night. Never got anything done during the day with the camera. I've been in the workshop all day with the rest of the lads, just flattening off some of the jobs that ran over from last week. The recovery driver started this morning, done a good job, everything was all sorted. That good of a job. Actually at 5 o'clock I said, get yourself away. And then at about 5:30 I got a phone call for another recovery, so I've just rather than getting him back in, obviously I've just went and done it myself. Well, I'm doing it myself now. Luckily it's a mate of mine, Big Si, so he's definitely buying the food tonight. He's just come back from Sunderland. He's ended up getting a puncture, so just gonna pick him up on the 1231, which is the road that just goes to Sunderland and leads towards the A1. Luckily he's managed to get into a lay-by, so it's not too bad. Hopefully it goes on the back of the truck alright. It should do. It's a front blowout, but hopefully it'll go on without the winch or anything. It's minus 1 degrees at the minute, so the bed's actually quite slippy. Obviously it's been damp, and then the wood on the bed starting to freeze a little bit, but it's not too bad. Got a couple of good jobs in the day actually, and then a couple of jobs that didn't go how we thought they were going to go. So the Ingenium timing chain on the F-Pace Jaguar, that's actually going to turn into an engine because we wanted to strip it down and see how it was going to be, but unfortunately the chain was actually in bits in the rocker cover, so that is going to be an engine. But we've ring the customer, priced it up, and we'll see how it goes. Just going to pull in now. High vis on because it looks pretty busy out there. In fact, I think we'll take you with us. Big size broke down. Wednesday morning, it is 7:15. I've just come up the A1 to go towards the garage. I thought the traffic would have been a lot better than this, but it's actually not amazing. I'll probably only get to work just before time. I thought I was going to get to work a lot before time so I could get a bit more done, but what can you do? Let's hope the day is a bit better than yesterday. All I got yesterday footage wise, because Ed wasn't in, Ed's just getting back from Portugal, was a little bit of the R5 Rally 2 Fiesta. So that's came in, that's to be fully stripped, and it's going for paint. The car's red, I mean the paintwork is absolutely perfect, but the new team colours are blue, so that car's going to get fully stripped down. It's probably about a couple of hours away of being done. That'll go to the body shop, get obviously flattened down, painted, whatever they do at the body shop. I have no idea about paint on cars, so whatever they're going to do anyway, that's going to go red and it's going to come back in blue. And then it'll have to go to the graphics company and they'll put all the new livery on for the 2023 season for Rally. Yesterday was upside down to say the least, so we had some parts come wrong, so it puts back jobs. We've had, you know, a job that was diagnosed as something has come back as something else. But actually, what it was that, you know, found a couple of broken wires. Thought that was the fault. Well, actually, there was one more broken wire a little bit further up the pack of wires, but it's fixed, it's done. That's just, well, I was going to say that's garage life in general is up and down, but that's just life in general up and down, I think. I keep saying to people I wish I was a joiner or a plumber, but if I was a plumber I'd put a hole in the pipe and it would flood someone's house, I think. So I suppose, you know, you just do what you've got. I think I'll try and have this weekend off because worked too many days for too long, and you start making little mistakes because obviously your brain's just not functioning right. I've ended up coming to work in the Magnum today, so not a great choice for Greta, because we're currently doing about 6 miles a gallon. That's just literally idling, doing about 5 miles an hour in traffic. So Greta will not be happy with Team Value MOT, unfortunately. Between this, the Mustang and all the rest of the stuff, the M4, Greta is not improving, but they still put a smile on your face, so someone's going to improve. I like to use this Magnum for work if I can, once a week or once every 10 days. It just keeps a good charge in the battery, keeps the engine sweet really, because, you know, I don't like things standing around for too long, and I haven't got a trickle charger for this. Everything else that sits on a trickle charger, so when I get there it's ready to use, but unfortunately this, I don't have a 24-volt trickle charger at home on the drive. I have got a little solar panel there actually. I've got a solar panel, but then it's been that dark and dingy and horrible that actually the solar panel's probably putting very little voltage back in the battery. So today in the workshop I'm hoping that Ed will come back around lunchtime and we can get some footage there rather than just be on the GoPro. Today was a busy day. So I've got I think it's a GLC 63 that was previously in for a can phantom to stop that getting pinched, and now it's coming in for I haven't got the dairy wheels, but I'm sure it's disc and pads all round, engine service and the gearbox service. So that's quite a lot of work just for one car. That guy obviously wants to keep that car in tip top shape. We've also got I think there's 3 MOTs in this morning. I'm not sure what's in the afternoon. I know that. So the new recovery driver Andy, he has got, I believe, seven jobs on the board. I think he's got. And I think Callum has got so we diagnosed the van with high pressure pump with transit, so there's absolutely no pressure at the high pressure pump at all. We've got the piece of kit that can test the high pressure pumps, so they run a crazy amount of pressure, but this has got absolutely no pressure at all. So we've basically blanked off all the injectors, then done a pressure test to make sure that pump just test the pump by itself is working, and we've condemned the pump. But for some reason the customer, I'm not sure why, thinks it's the injectors. So somehow from his living room he's diagnosed the injectors. So he wants the injectors taken out and tested before we go ahead with the pump. A little bit false economy really, so he's paid us to diag it. We're going to stand on the fact it's the pump. He now thinks it's the injectors, so he's going to have to pay for us to remove those injectors unnecessarily, I think. Then have them tested, so they'll charge per injector. 9 times out of 10 you send an injector away for testing, they fail anyway, because the tolerances are so tight that the injectors never seem to pass it. So completely true story. I bought just to prove a point really, I bought a brand new injector. So I bought it was a Bosch unit, and at the time I was sick of pretty much all of my injectors. Every time I took them to the injector testing company, they always failed every time. So I felt like it's pointless taking them there, I may as well just replace them, because every time they failed. So I took a brand new injector there. I said, "Oh, you test that injector." Excuse me. So took a brand new injector. Lo and behold, it failed. So then when I told him, "Oh, it's a brand new unit. How does a brand new unit fail?" And then he went on to explain that basically the tolerances are so tight that they're nearly unachievable. So, but the car would have ran fine with that injector in, because obviously it was brand new. But their get out clause is that they get tolerances from sort of Delphi or Bosch or whoever, and if it's not exactly that tolerance, which is so fine as well, such a tight tolerance, then they just class that as a fail. I mean, this injector must have been like tiny, nothing, but it was outside of that tolerance slightly. So it failed. So when you do get injectors tested, sometimes you're best off asking, what did it fail on? So if they come back and say, oh, there was too much leak back, and the fault you've got with your car is it's either hard to start or doesn't start, then you could believe it, that was your fault. But if they say the spray pack was not the best, so it's failed on that, then that's probably not going to be your fault. Well, it certainly is your fault, probably not the fault you're looking for. I've just noticed there the diesel lights just come on, so this is going to need some fuel this afternoon. I'll send Andy, the new driver, go and top this up, so I know when the light comes on it's about £1,000-ish, maybe it's about £1,100. Excuse me, as well, to fill up, so we'll get that done. Hopefully this truck will get a bit more use this year, pulling the race trailer. We're not quite sure what it's going to be pulling, because we've got the land speed racing bikes that are not quite finished yet. We've got the radical track car that's not quite finished yet. We've also got plans to get another track car, which isn't even bought yet. So lots of things that are very close, but the same as that injector, they're just not ready yet, or they're just out of tolerance. So we'll hopefully make a big push on those land speed bikes and get you down to Elverton on the runway and get you show you some big speeds. If not, it'll be an expensive bill, because either normally at Elverton you get a big speed and it's a happy day, or you chuck a rod through the block and it's a bad day because you get a big bill rather than a big speed. Hopefully get some good track days in as well. Probably my favourite track of the UK is Cadwell. It's, you know, it's twisty, tight. There's a little jump there. There's some tricky corners that catch you out with sort of weird cambers, but very, very good track. Especially for something like a Clio, or I mean that Radical would be unbelievable. Also be amazing on the bike. So we'll try and get some footage of that this year. We also need to get to all the businesses. So this channel's, it's great for our garage, but it'll also be good to show you what can be done in this area. So there's wheel refurb companies who do powder coating, diamond cutting. There's companies who rebuild prop shafts. There's companies who rebuild high pressure fuel pumps and injectors. There's the amount of companies in the northeast who do specialist work is unbelievable, and hopefully we can go see some of that, show you how it's done. And there's a couple of people asking about prices, so basically the only thing I can do for telling you guys is the prices of what's gone out is we can ask the customer, are they happy for their car to basically to tell what's been happened and what they've paid. I know that a lot of people, certainly if you buy sort of like performance products, if that product costs you £1,000, you'd probably tell your wife it was about £30. So I don't want to put somebody in that predicament of, say, my car got repaired, you know, it was £100 and we've had to charge £1,000. So we'll make sure we ask the customer first, and if we can, we'll let you know some of the repair costs of these big jobs. Oh, excuse me. And also, a lot of people on other sort of garage things are asking about prices of products in the new year, or people putting the prices up. I mean, our prices have obviously gone up. So, you know, you get an electric bill that was, I don't know, maybe £700 a month, is now close to £2,000 a month. All of our guys get workwear, you know, as soon as that workwear's not serviceable anymore, you know, even when it's cleaned, it's still scrubby, they'll get something new. The price of workwear's gone up, the price of gas has gone up, so diesel prices for all the trucks, there's obviously courtesy cars, etc. All the prices of diesel's gone up for them. Pretty much, I don't think we've ever seen a price decrease. Everything has been increased, which I expect year on year things to go up. But obviously, we buy everything in big quantities, so the price increase seems a lot more than maybe if you had a little garage, or let's say if you've got a little like transit recovery truck. You know, the fuel you put in that is negligible really compared to what you put in these trucks. So the truck does, well, I would say the truck does a better job. You know, it's safe, legal, right thing for the job, but you've got to pay the price. So I know that you can probably get a recovery done for £40 in the northeast, maybe off the top of your head. we charge, if it's local, I mean very, very local, it'll be about 150 plus VAT. Probably anything more than 10 mile will be 225 plus the VAT. But then actually so that sounds like a lot of money for recovery. When you break it down, we've got, so that truck, the recovery truck's actually due its MOT in about 3 weeks. So when it goes in for its MOT, it's obviously a full check, like it does every 6 weeks. I'll get its MOT, I'll get serviced. So you're going to get a bill for that. It uses maybe 250, 300 a week, at least in diesel. You got the insurance bill, which is astronomical. I think we'll give about 25,000 a year insurance. You got like little niggles and repairs on the truck. Things get damaged, you know. You got to change out your ratchet straps fairly regular because they're getting a hard life. They're touching sharp things, and even when you try and put little packers in, they still get damaged. We just wouldn't use damaged sleeve because it's your car in the back. We wouldn't want to put that at risk. So obviously we change out the wheel holding straps quite a lot. You might get, I don't know, 4 sets of them a year. Winch wire, it's always got to be checked, and if it's anything wrong with it, any kinks, gets pulled out, changed, new winch wire put in. You've got the driver, so that driver's got bills to pay, so obviously we've got to pay him. The driver's workwear, he's got to have high-vis vests, jackets, hats, you name it, and that all goes into that price. And yeah, there is a profit in recoveries, but I think a lot of people think, well, if he's charged me £225, he's made £225 off that recovery today, and it's not. You know, it's obviously by the time you take your costs off, blah blah blah. Yeah, there's a profit left, but it's not like amazing. You know what I mean? We're not selling Bitcoin yet. It's just a recovery. We have got another truck on order. I thought it might have been here by now, but it's not, unfortunately. So, like everything else, I think it's just slightly delayed and probably overpriced. But that's the price it pays, I suppose. We're literally just pulling on the TV now. We'll see what the car park looks like. Normally, if we leave with there's 25 cars in the car park, you come back to work, there's 30. Because either customers have left the car, which is really good. If a customer can leave their car before we open, that's perfect. Gives us a chance to get a bit of a head start, especially MOTs. You know, it's nice if you get a couple of MOTs done before you even open the doors. Also, the RAC, they're very, very regular, and the AA, they're very regular, drop cars off in the middle of the night. If someone's unlucky enough to break down in the middle of the night in our area, the RAC will bring them to us, and we can have a look on the same day it gets dropped off, and then obviously diagnose it, call the customer, and let them know the good or the bad news. I mean, if you broke down and someone's told you it's probably not going to be good news. Very rare you get away with a fuse or something like that, but we do our best to get through them. And we've also got today to have a look at the Ford Ranger. So the one that will put the head gasket in used to have a phenomenal amount of water pressure, so that wasn't good. It was a bad water pressure. But now they've done the head gasket, the water pressure is perfect. It's not overheating, it's not losing any water. But because someone's put the rad, well, steel seal, whatever they call it in, then unfortunately it's blocked the heater matrix. So if you're really on the power and it's getting a lot of flow, then you can get a little bit of heat out of it, but it's not the best, to be honest with you. Little car park's that busy. I Can't see that part of the magnum. Right, we're in. Seatbelt the wrong way. Right, okay everybody, hopefully see you this afternoon. The Ved's back, we'll get him on the proper camera with some proper audio rather than just the GoPro, which feels like it's miles away because I've stuck it in the middle of the windscreen, but the magnum's that big that actually it feels like you're a long way away. Hope you have a really good day. I'll see you later on, thanks. Hi everybody, Thursday evening. It's just about finishing time now, 5:30. Some of the guys are packing up and some of them are staying back to do a little bit of overtime, luckily. We didn't get anything done yesterday with the camera. Ed spent another day in Portugal, just making sure Junior's all settled in over there. So Ed's now back, he's behind the camera already. We've got a couple of things that we've been doing today. Workshop's been really busy as usual. So with it being 5:30, obviously some cars have gone out and some are still here. Hopefully we'll get a full walk around tomorrow of what's going on in the workshop during the middle of the day. But at the minute we've got this recovered in. So we sent our new driver out here, recovered this. This is a non-runner and it's got no MOT. Whether it's worth repairing, I don't know. I'm going to give the choice to the customer, but the sills are rotten. I think they've possibly been done before because it's been painted black. Various other stuff for the MOT. It's got a bit of an oil leak there, and if you look here, so there's a hole in the sill there, and that's actually just the bodge that someone's had a little go at before, unfortunately. All the sills here is all damaged. This is all held on with self-tappers. I don't really think it's ready to go back on the road. There's another hole here in the sill. So we look, obviously it's just, that metal's really soft. Even if you're just using the MOT, finger and thumb pressure, that's actually not definitely not up to standard. I think there's also a big list of MOT failures on that as well. This is a GL, I'm sure it's GLE, yeah. GL63S, awesome looking car. This is the same engine that was in the GLS that we had the other week. So I bet this is awesome on the road, the same as that white one. White one basically is the same car at the front, just it's got a longer back on it, and they're a 7-seater. This one's only a 5-seater. This one's probably even faster because it's lighter. This one's got a really nice set of wheels on. We've also just done disc pads all round. So if you come around here, you can see it's got the big 6-pot AMG calipers on here. But if you come to this side, if you look there, there's no caliper there at all because we've had to send that away to get refurbished as one of the pistons was seized in there. So the rubber dust boot had actually split previous to this guy having it. It's built up some corrosion on the piston. Piston wouldn't go back, so that's sent away locally to get refurbished. So they're going to put a new piston kit in, all new seals, build that back up, and it'll get repainted into the red with the AMG sticker on. It's also had a full service on the engine. So this car gets serviced every 68,000 miles, which is under what the manufacturer says, but obviously wants to keep it in tip-top shape. So it's had a full service, every filter and every fluid changed, including the gearbox done, the diffs and coolant flush, brake fluid changed. This had everything. So this car will be in tip-top shape when it goes back out on the road when we get that caliper back. We've literally just put that wheel back on so we can roll it back to do some work on the inside of the car. So there's a couple of wiring jobs that we've had to do, and also the cabin filter was inside. So we'll get this all boxed back up when we'll get this caliper back, and that will be ready to go. I'm not quite sure it was on here today. In fact, on here was the Jag F-Pace that we done the injector on, so that's all running perfect now. plenty of test driving. The guy actually works abroad. So when it was sitting outside and we pulled it in last night, we noticed the tyre pressure was down a little bit. So it's picked up a little puncture. It might have been before it came here, it might have been here. But by the by, we've just done a puncture repair. It was right in the middle of the tread, plenty of tread in that tyre. So that's been all repaired now, and it is going back to the customer. So over here we've got the rally car coming back, so that's still getting in the middle of getting stripped out to go for paint. So it's currently red, it's going to be blue. What is going on?
Well, I've took one out, but I can't remember how to get the second one out now.
Oh well, Paul's just taking the Lego out of the door.
That's what it feels like.
So that must come up first then, because I must go that way, because that's there. Well, that's there now.
I can't remember what
Is it that? Not going that way. Unless just come out the top way first.
That's it.
That's it. And you a touch, Carl?
Goes back a touch now to get this last bit out, yeah.
How many minutes take out a bit of foam? There we go. That must be when you sink it. It must float the car.
I'll stick them over there, because that's for that door.
So the bare door, it'll get stripped down to a bare door, and then it'll go with the car for paint. So you notice all this is red, but actually inside the car is all silver. So all this will have to get painted, and we'll leave the car interior, that'll stay silver, so it's nice and light. So that's the door there with nothing on it at all. I'm assuming it's pretty light. It's very light. So that'll go for paint. Obviously there's no glass or anything in it. It's all just plastic. So I think, can we take the window, Paul?
I bought the seals are off that one, so it should just
pull out.
I'll just get this box off. It should just push down and twist.
So these windows are just plastic, and there's a little flap there. But the windows are just basically siliconed in. So we'll just pull that out. Take all the bits of wiring out, the door catches, everything will be just a bare door. They'll go and get painted, then we'll have to basically put on these black stickers. This trim will have to be done again. So that one, it's all being ripped off. Once the car's back here, it's in blue, we'll redo all this satin black stickering. That's it. That's it. That's the window. Right, we'll leave Paul at that. There's the door card there.
Where's he put that? Oh, that window.
Upstairs. There's the door card. That's made of carbon fibre. So that's actually made by M Sport, who do the car. This bit of foam here is perfectly cut to go around basically when the door closes, that'll go around the roll cage. Door card's obviously a lot thinner than a standard card on your car, but there's no electric windows, no nothing in there. And literally just a nice bit of leather for the door handle there. Right. Gary's just having an absolute mare putting the van back together, which,
I think that's the case.
I mean, Gary's doing a fine job, but
What you find here is that it's a tell me what we're doing is we're succeeding.
oh, we're succeeding, all right.
What happens is, right, okay, you've got to remember, he who has one eye is king in the valley of the blind.
Ah,
Yeah, you always got to remember that.
right, okay, so it's basically what we're saying is the blind is leading the blind here.
That is punchlines, alright.
But,
So it's like the blind leading the blind.
oh, so it's the blind leading the blind, Gary, I've never heard that one.
That's the one. Yeah.
So I'll tell you the truth, what happened with this van is, we've got the van in.
Can I just intervene?
Come on then, you intervene, please do.
The van would have been together, but Callum Barton, in his infinite wisdom, decided not to mark the pipes as he took them off.
Ah,
So now what we're doing is it's like a guessometer. So what we do is we just try guessing which one's which.
well, I'll just spin the wheel.
Would we do that a lot? Yeah.
So that pipe there is...
Only one
Oh, it's a headlight bulb. Right, we'll spin it again. Spin it again.
I'm going to take a guess.
Right, so what happened with this van is basically it came in as a non-runner.
It goes out the non-runner.
It's going out as a non-runner because
You push them in and you push them out.
we've diagged the van. We've told the man it wants a high pressure fuel pump. He doesn't want the high pressure fuel pump. He thinks it's actually the injectors, which it's not. Callum's pulled the injectors out yesterday. One of them seized in the cylinder head. So this guy's been told that it's had 4 new injectors. It definitely hasn't. And then, so basically the guy now, I don't know why, he's going to pay us for diagnosis, but he doesn't want to listen to it. Don't know why, I don't really care why. Basically he's paid us, we've told him it's a high pressure pump at fault. This guy's set on the fact it's the injectors. So now he wants the injectors put them back in, he's going to take it somewhere else. So they're going to test the injectors for him, tell them they're all right, and then he's going to come back to the conclusion that it's a high pressure pump. So I wish this man many happy miles with his high pressure pump. That job must be so important, Gary is involved. Customer comes first, Gary, is it? This van here is the Parker Tiles van. I've just walked past it, I think it is. It certainly is. This Parker Tiles van came in last week with a coolant leak. Couldn't actually see where the leak was from. I mean, if you look at the bottom of that van there, there's so much mud and clay. I don't know where they actually take this van. I think it's the Sahara Desert. So we couldn't actually see a leak because the whole van was soaking. So we basically washed everything off, dried it up, filled it with water, asked them to do 100 mile and come back. We've now seen that there's a leak on the water pump. So this will be getting a time belt and water pump tomorrow. Once that's done, even though the van does look a bit tired, it's actually mechanically sound. It's still doing the job perfect. Yet again, another NEPS van. So this van came in with no drive and they couldn't get the gears. So when they were moving the gear lever, there's a bracket inside there. I won't show you inside there because it's literally pitch black. Can Ed see it or not? Should we get a torch? Right, we're going to show you. Ed's on the case. So basically in here, if you look just down here, where those gear cables go, on here, this plastic bracket's actually snapped. So if I get a hold of this here, if I can, you see it moves up and down. And it actually moves forward and back when you try and get the gears. So basically rather than it moving the gear selector on top of the turret on the gearbox, instead it's actually just moving the outer of the cable. So it feels it's going to gear, but it's not. So it's going to get the replacement bracket. And there was another fault where actually the clutch wouldn't disengage all the way. So basically if you even turn the van off, put it into gear when you could get a gear, you started, you could still feel the van rolling slightly with your foot on the clutch. So that was the master cylinder. I think about 6-7 months ago this had a new clutch and a slave cylinder. So we've just put a new master cylinder there. That's working perfect now. But unfortunately we couldn't get that bracket on the same day, so that's been ordered from Reynolds and that'll come in tomorrow. I think we'll have a quick walk in the car park, Ed, and we'll see. At the minute we're on the GoPro camera, so I'm not 100% confident how good that'll be outside in the dark, but it should be alright. Right, we have got So it's Land Rover, Range Rover, I think at the minute, and Jaguar, JLR group. So we've got that E-Pace there, that got a throttle body the other day, and it also has a timing chain fault. The customer's actually declined the work on the throttle body. That is going, I think, back to Land Rover. I think he's going to try, or Jaguar, he's going to try and get a bit of goodwill off them for the timing chain. If Land Rover does it, great. If not, it might end up back here and we'll do it. But he said it wasn't so much the price, it was more the fact that he thinks Land Rover should chip in, but we'll find out. And this car here, so this is the Ranger that we did. This Ranger is the one that we've done the head gasket on. So it's running perfect now, no pressure in the system. But the rad weld that was put in previous to us has actually blocked up the heater matrix. So we have got a heater matrix for that, but actually I think nobody in the workshop wants to take it on because it's going to be a full dashboard out. But it'll have to get allocated some time, it'll have to get done. Got a white Range Rover Sport here, so this is actually the 2.7 older shape, but it's been facelifted. This has got wheel bearing to be done on the back, which is not a nightmare job, but it's not the best of jobs because a lot of the bushes are seized on these sort of age cars, so that will be coming in. So it's wheel bearing, rear brakes. This is a newer shape. I think it's a 2011 Range Rover Sport. This is in for a handbrake issue, and pretty much everything down this line is all done. So that is the disco that had the body off. This is the car that was in, I think, a couple of episodes ago. Needed the wheel. So you can see that wheel is brand new now. We managed to get one of them from Urban Automotive. That must have been a new takeoff. So when they've put a nice body kit on and some nice wheels on a brand new Disco Sport, they've obviously took them ones off and they've sold them on. Have sold one to us, which was good. This little Dacia is in for, actually this is in tomorrow for power steering pipe. This is the Jag with the injector. It's running perfect. That was just in for the puncture. So we'll give him a call. I think his father's going to pick that car up. Like I say, he works abroad. Volvo's sorted, and then we've still got some cars on death row. I've come to work in the Magnum again today. So it's 2 days in a row, just trying to give it a bit of run out. And then last but not least is that big Dyson van that came in this morning with a broken passenger spring. That's all done. So I'll leave it there for tonight. We've been in and out the workshop. I think we might get a little bit of footage in about 15 or 20 minutes time if Ed's got time, because the rally car's actually come back here for a bit more stripped down. So hopefully we'll go through a couple of things in that rally car and then we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Boom. You reach, guys? Yeah. He's doing his best. Gary Westgate there. Right, okay, so Andy's brought the rally car back to get some more stripping done. Everyone's just basically all hands on deck trying to get it done so we can go to the body shop. So it's basically now where it's bare shell. This is probably about as bare as you can get it for a paint job, I suppose. So anything that you see on the car that is silver is going to stay silver. So that's basically anything on the inside of the body shell, inner wings, the chassis legs, all that sort of stuff. It'll stay in that metallic silver. Everything on the outside of the car, so outside air pillar sort of thing, roof, doors, wings, all that sort of stuff. That's going to go from red, which is actually a really nice colour when you see it up close, and a really decent paint job actually for a rally car. That's all going to get changed to blue, so it's actually going to be an Iveco colour. We've had the and he spent some time over the last couple of days stripping down. We've had Ian in from Affordable Windscreens. He's took the front screen out, the back screen, and these two little side windows here. So then all the glue will get scraped off, back down to the metal. We want this car to basically be perfect, so you can't see any red at all or any evidence of it being red. So even though it's a rally car, it's going to go up the lanes flat out and probably get scratched. Because the car's top of the range, it's pointless getting a horrible, nasty paint job. It needs to look perfect. There's no dents or anything to take out of this car. The bodywork's perfect already. I think there's 2 or 3 spare bumpers. There's a bonnet and some other bits of stuff. So pretty much everything's off this car now. So they'll get masked up to the inside line here. So even that line there under the windscreen, that's why I've took it out. Nothing worse than getting a paint job done than just looking behind that windscreen and seeing the original colour. It would look pretty bad that on something that's into the hundreds of thousands of pounds. The roof fence off now. That used to have the Scottish flag on. That's all being stripped back. All the backlights are at the tailgate. The spoiler's been taken off. We're going to leave all the interior in because that'll all get masked up from the inside. Then the body shop will have to make sure that they basically mask inside of here and under the inside of here, because we don't want the shockers, brakes, wheels, nothing like that, any paint on. Literally want that line to stop on there to be blue and everything on the inside to stay exactly where it is, silver. So I reckon about the only original part in this car, Fiesta, I reckon is the badge on the tailgate. Everything else is completely different. I think there's 2% Fiesta left here, and that's probably 1% is the badge, the other one is probably the number plates, that's it. The wiper stalk, there we go, look. Oh, there, look at that. Genuine Ford part there, wiper stalk. You have a quick look in there. There's absolutely nothing in there apart from Andy's wiper stalk is original. So if you think that you've made a little track car out your granny's old Fiesta, this is probably the opposite end of the planet of what you've made. The body panels of this car will do very, very little. The whole car is basically based around this cage. So that'll make sure the car is super stiff. It's obviously tough on tough stages, and it keeps the driver and hopefully Andy the navigator, keep them alive. So even when, I mean, we've had plenty of Fiestas and bits, and we've also had we used to sponsor the little R2 Fiesta, the blue one. So that was Ewan Tyndall driving that car. He's now got rid of that car and he's got an Evo 9. So this car compared to the little blue one is completely different again. So that the little blue Fiesta was a R2, wasn't it? Yeah. That was front wheel drive, did have a sequential gearbox. There's been a few people who have been saying that this is pretty much similar. Well, actually it's nothing like it at all. So I think R2 car's 80 grand. Brand new?
No, not that much. 50 grand, I think.
So you can go to M Sport and buy one, 50, 60 grand say, for R2, which is the blue one. You can go to M Sport, you'll probably put on a big waiting list if you want to buy one of these. 300G? Aye, so you're going to be close to 300 grand, and actually that probably wouldn't get you racing because you still need to get, that comes with 4 wheels, aye. So you can roll the car into your trailer, but you still need to fuel it with race fuel or whatever you're going to put in it. You still need to have endless amounts of gear. Obviously it's pointless just turn up with your car to a stage, because you last one stage and then what are you going to do with tyres? So you need spare wheels for tyres, you need different brake setups, different things. So even though you've just chucked 300 grand in M Sport, actually it'll probably only get you around the block, and then you're going to have to start spending some more money. So M Sport, what I think you should do is give us one of these, and then we'll give it a little whip around the block for you. So inside, like I said before, everything's going to stay totally the way it is. It's literally brand new inside there, it's perfect. So there's your line there. So with that silver, that'll stay that way. Anything on this side, it'll be all blue. Don't want to see any evidence of that. That red needs to be a perfect job. So on the tailgate, there's literally just there. Oh, I found another genuine part. That's 3% of the car. So there's a Fiesta badge, Ford badge. They'll get ripped off because the last thing you want is to take that badge off one day and see horrible red under there. We want it perfect, so you cannot see anything. Obviously, all that's totally different to a Fiesta, the big box arch. Obviously, this car's 4-wheel drive. It's got Brembo brakes on it. Shockers are totally different. Everything on this car is completely different. That looks like a factory dash, but it's not. It's probably a lightweight, flocked version of it. So on the front end, that's completely different as well. So basically from that bulkhead forward, you can see there where the original VIN number would be. So everything from there forward is completely different as well. We've got the all motors built by M Sport. Obviously, it's turbo as well. Air intakes completely not factory. If you look at them shockers there, so you probably get a couple of Fiestas for the price of that shocker. So look at the size of that damper rod there. So there's your chrome stanchion. All this has been machined, billet out of one piece. So look around here, that's all one piece of billet there. Unbelievably strong, obviously it's got to be. And if you look at even on so that there, on a road car, would normally be about here. So they basically just cut the front of the car off. There's the chassis leg there. That chassis leg is the original to here, but everything above that's totally different. All your shocker mounts, your turrets, everything's completely different. So this car should go away tomorrow afternoon to the body shop. We're going to take the ECU and the dashboard out there, going back to M Sport to get some mapping changed. So while it's in the body shop, we're going to prep all the parts, so all the doors that are being stripped. We're going to make sure everything's cleaned down, everything's perfect. That will go back together once we get it back. So we've done the strip down, they'll do all the body work, and then we want to do all the build up as well, just to make sure everything's absolutely perfect. Not saying that the body shop can't do that, but with it being a rally car, everything's slightly different. It will be a road car, so even the way you take the doors off is different. So we're going to make sure that when we do it, somebody will do one job and then somebody will go back and check that full job again. Even if it's just putting a spanner on the bolt and just make sure it's the right torque, everything will get done twice just to make sure it's perfect. Once the full car's built up and Jimmy's spent his 2 days taking his plastic off, we'll get the windscreen and the back glass put in, and then 2 little quarter lights. These windows we can just put in by ourselves. You just basically put the seal in and that gets siliconed in. There's a little stopper at the bottom. That's all I've got for you tonight on the rally car. Hopefully the next time you see this, this will be in blue, and we'll get some footage of it all going back together. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for the last day. That's Friday. Me and Ed's pretty tired now, so we go to bed. See you soon. Cheers. What's that? That just puts me doing the like there, like a knife doing there, and run it up.
That'll be quite long.
Hi everybody, it's Friday evening. We're just about to finish off. It's 6:30 at the moment. The lads got in about 7:30 this morning, so it's been a long day. Probably another half an hour and then we should be all done. Go through some of the jobs that will be happening tomorrow. So the workshop's being loaded up for tomorrow. We don't normally work Saturdays, but people are coming in just to get rid of some of the backlog and some of the jobs that have kept on sort of like being added to the diary. Things are getting added every day. Even though the diary is literally full to the brim, obviously if you're an existing customer and you break down, we'll obviously try our best to look after you. So this actually is one of our cars. This is Disco. This has just been in for a time belt, and we'll be getting a service, and one of the rear calipers has been sticking as well. This car's been used for about 6 months, and it's also been sitting outside, which doesn't do them much good. So one of the calipers is seized. We'll have a look at it in the morning, quick health check, and see how that gets on. This one here is the Jag. That's just been stored inside over the weekend until that guy can pick it up. I think I mentioned that guy works away, or he's abroad or something. So he's going to pick it up next week, or his father is. This Freelander is booked in for Monday, but hopefully we'll get a look tomorrow to try and free up some space in the diary. This is in for the keys basically on being recognised. It's quite a common problem. So those keys will probably need reinitialized with the Jaguar Land Rover tool. So basically what happens is, says key not recognised on the dashboard, you've got to then put that under the dashboard onto the sensor, and then picks up the key off the chip and then turns the ignition on and starts it. But unfortunately you won't do keyless start. That should be quite an easy fix, hopefully. This taxi here, this had a rear differential fitted. Unfortunately, the customer supplied the diff, which we wouldn't normally do, but he's actually, he's a very good customer. He already had a second-hand diff. We fitted the diff and there was no sticker with basically with the ratio on the diff. So the diff was exactly the same. Unfortunately, we put it in that it was the wrong ratio. So now obviously it's got an ABS and a traction control fault because it knows that the speed of the prop shaft basically is going a lot slower than the speed of the wheels. So it knows there's something wrong because the calculation's wrong. So we found another one for him. We're going to fit that tomorrow, get that taxi back on the road. This Range Rover here is in for a handbrake module. So another really common problem. We're going to get that pulled out hopefully tomorrow, and we'll finish off on Monday when we get the new module. These are maybe a couple hours to fit. Maybe I think this had one before actually, but they're really common to have them done. So this one's getting a handbrake module. Got a same car but in white. So this is that one. There's a 3 litre, the black one. This one here is 2.7, but it has got the facelift rear lights and front lights in. So this car here is getting quite a bit of work. So it's rear disc pads. I believe there's a C's caliper on this as well. The wheel bearing, the back end plate, and a few other things. All the back end really, and a height sensor. So this one at the minute's got braking problems and suspension problems. We'll get them done hopefully over the weekend. This car here was brought in by the RAC. No, sorry, it wasn't. This broke down around the corner, this one, mistaken. So this broke down around the corner. Clutch pedal's gone to the floor. So hopefully we'll get a look at that tomorrow. I'm assuming that's going to be the concentric slave cylinder, which is inside the gearbox. So we'll take that out. Take the gearbox out, put a new cylinder in, obviously with a clutch kit, and get this guy back on the road. This is another one of the modern Milkman milk floats. These are a strange looking thing really, but so it's like a van basically made into a pickup, and they've had the back put on it for delivering milk. And then you've got, I think they put there's bits of bread and cakes and stuff going to the little lockers at the back. We've been in for a service and we've repaired one of the rear lights, I think. And then over here, I've still had no time to put the tyres on the M4 yet, so they'll end up going up there on the rack because we probably won't get time next week to fit them either, so that'll just be sitting in the garage under the cover. Callum's just on with this one now. Callum.
Yeah.
What's this in for?
It's getting a caliper and 4 brake pipes.
Oh, caliper and 4 brake pipes.
And an oil change.
Oh, and an oil change. Unbelievable. That's the van that we spoke about yesterday. Andy's just fitting a new 10 belt and water pump. So there's the water pump there. It's actually wet around, you can see the crusty flue there. That's around the bearing on the water pump. So yeah, there's actually a bit of play on that bearing there. It's been leaking out the bottom. Didn't do any damage at all, just had a water leak. And he's put a new time belt on and a water pump. Yeah, right there, son.
All good in the hood.
Back together. Ish.
Just about.
That's the old belt there, so that's the original one. It's not actually in the worst of conditions, to be honest with you. It has got some, I don't know if you'll be able to see there on the GoPro, but it is starting to crack there. But actually the belt wasn't due, but the water pump failed before the belt was due. So change them at the same time, and we'll make sure that the water level gets checked before it goes out and test driven. Where's Busy Jimmy? Is he away? Yeah. You busy, Gary? Oh, he's just stole it. Gary's always busy. That seems tight there, Jeff. She's tight. Right, so just a quick walk through what we've been doing today and what will be happening tomorrow. Won't be filming anything tomorrow because Ed will be editing this week's episode, and we're going to try and get some prep done for next week's episode. So this, I think, is pretty much this full week's episodes all been done on GoPro, which we've never done before. But the other cameras that we've normally used have been on other jobs. So obviously we love doing the YouTube videos, but obviously we've got to prioritise between paid jobs, obviously doing adverts and things for other people, and just sort of use the minimum amount of equipment we can for our YouTube. So what we've decided to do is buy 2 new Canon cinema cameras for just to be kept in the garage. So that'll either be used on the road with us or in the garage, but those 2 cameras will just be set up just for us, and they won't be going on any other jobs. It just means that we're not sort of hunting around for gear sometimes, and sometimes it's something that we want to record, but maybe the gear's out on another job, so there's not much we can do about that. So what we've done is just bought 2 dedicated cameras, some more lenses that'll just stay just on the Team Valley YouTube page, really. I just want to say thanks very much to everybody for watching. The episode, I think the best episode we've ever had is the Land Rover episode. So that's on 52,000 views. That's unbelievable, really. I don't know why that one got the most views. If anybody knows, put it in the comments. Obviously, we're learning all the time, but for us to get something like 50,000 views is unbelievable. Last week's video got some good comments and some good views on that as well. We're going to try and it's hard when the weather's not amazing to get out and about, because it doesn't matter what you do really, you don't really want the equipment or the cameras getting wet. So it's going out and about. Sometimes we'll have planned to go out, but obviously the weather's either started raining or snowing, or the weatherman hasn't been on our side. But hopefully as the weather starts to get better throughout the year, we will go to different places. Once again, I just want to finish off saying thanks very much for watching, liking, subscribing. We're really close now to the 5,000 subscribers, so we'll pick someone at random and you're going to get the £500. And then on the 10,000 we'll give away that little Fiat. So I've decided on 10,000 we're going to give you the Fiat Panda 100 horsepower, and we're going to give you another £500 towards your insurance on that car. So remember, like, share, subscribe for the chance to win the £500, and then once you've won that, you'll go back in the draw and you can win the Fiat Panda 100 horsepower and £500 towards your insurance. Thanks very much for watching this episode, and we'll see you next week for even more things. Thanks very much. Good night.